Hello everyone, back here with another live base building video. Today I really want to build a channel base. A couple of you might have already seen this base. I've built it before, but here I am building it again. And I'm going to go through it step by step so you guys can see what the thoughts are I have when I build this base. So first I want to establish my value spread again. So I'm going to continue following that rule of the kind of diagonal values where I can't just have an easy hybrid pathing because it's kind of diagonal instead of just being parallel to the walls again. So with that in mind, I'm going to start with the eagle comp that I actually got some inspiration from Just Fall, another member, or he's actually a pro on the base building server. So this is the comp that he showed me, and I really liked it. I think it's a pretty effective comp to use. So I'm going to build it right now and let you guys take a look at what it looks like. So it looks something like this with a fat dead zone up here. Yeah, like that. And then there's another comp up here which has a quick little dead zone in it like that. And I'll go more over why this comp works and how it works later on. But for now, I'm just going to have this little comp here as a start. I'm going to throw a moat right here, something like that. And now I want to bridge on to my next Inferno. And I'm going to do something like this, where I have a 5x5, where in this 5x5, I can't reach this eagle. That's what I want. So I have this here, and I'm going to make this part an Inferno comp. Something like this. Oh, I made this a tile too big. Something like that. There we go. And I'm going to have my Inferno right here. And then because this Inferno is 100% walkable from the outside right now, I'm going to put two comps here. Something like this. Nothing fancy. Just some standard comps protecting the Inferno. And then this section is still walkable because this is positioned here, so I'm definitely going to have a comp here like that. Oops. And then now I want to kind of think of where I want to put that channel. And right now, this looks like a pretty good spot for that channel, right there. So I don't mind putting it there, and I think I'm going to have my third Inferno somewhere right there. So first thing I want to do is make that channel. So I'm going to do something like this, something like that. I like that. And then I want to make this Inferno comp down here. So I'm going to start with a dead zone. And I'm going to put my Inferno down somewhere like right here. Right there. So that it's unwalkable. And I'm going to just use the standard Inferno comp like that. And get rid of this. Put it like that. And then because that's unwalkable, obviously I'm going to put some comps on the outside to protect it from anyone who tries to just walk this Inferno. There we go. And then I'm going to have a little wall sticking out right there. And now this top part of the base looks pretty empty right here. So I'm going to have something there because I don't want it the first comp in to be the Inferno comp. Or the first comp in being the Eagle comp. So I'm going to do something like this where I have a section of this base that is kind of hard to get into. Something like this. And what this does is, if they try to go in through here, they're most likely not going to be able to, because there's no structures there, so nothing will be pulling a queen into there. And anything that walks into here, I'll make it so that the Inferno will be able to snipe the healers, so they wouldn't really want to charge this section. So now that I have the basic structure down, I'm going to maybe add a wall here, and add maybe some walls here. There we go. And I'll go into a little bit more depth on why I have the skeleton later. For now, I want to fill in some key values. So the first thing I want to start with is my queen and my clan castle. So I want the clan castle in the channel. and I want the queen somewhere around here. Because this spot is a bit difficult to charge and also doesn't provide the most value, I can have the queen closer to this side, so they would have to get deeper from any other charge sides they want to come in from. And I also want my warden to cover the queen, so I can do something like that. And I want an air defense here that is unreachable from the outside. So this is not a bad spot. I want one air defense right here. I'll cover this in a bit. I want one right here, like that. And I really want one right here. All right. So if we take a look at this base right now, with the way the air defenses are positioned, if a queen tries to charge into this section here, this air defense would snipe the healers. And because of this dead zone, the queen won't be pulled this way. And also, with this part of the channel here, because it's open, if a queen walks into here, the healers are going to be sniped off from this air defense. And because I have a 4-tile gap here, the queen won't be able to reach the air defense if she's standing along this line. So that is my thought process on putting these air defenses where they are. Let's see. And no one would want to really charge this section, because then you'd have to deal with 2 Infernos kind of roasting your healers, which is never a good idea. And now I want to place my Expos. So I want to have them right here to kind of protect the eagle from a charge. It also kind of protects the top side and the channel a bit more. And I want my last Expo to be somewhere here to kind of stop a Sui, or at least anything too easy to grab the Inferno, because right now it looks pretty easy to grab with just the heroes. And I'm also going to throw a gold storage in there to try to slow down the heroes. Yeah, I like the look of this right now. Now I want to throw in my wizard towers. I want one somewhere right here. And I want one right around here, so that it's still kind of covered by that Inferno Tower. Probably going to have one right here, and one right there. Something like that. And then my last one I can put by the Eagle to prevent a Bat Bomb, so that they'd have to at least freeze it, which is another spell slot used. So that's not a bad idea. I'm going to put my King... Oh, this is my King. Whoops. Put my King right there. Kind of stop a charge from getting it too easily here. And also, if a queen tries to go in from this section, there's a chance she might walk a little bit over here and get pulled by the king. So that's a good idea. Let's see. Oh, since I moved my king, I can put my warden back there. And what I want to do is kind of have the hogs kind of path like this, away from this Inferno, kind of create a defense ring around the Inferno. So in the same idea, I can kind of create a defense ring like this. So that kind of protects this Inferno, since this one is a bit easier to grab. Let's see. So I'm going to, because this section up here looks really easy to queen charge, I'm going to have one of this section. Here, I'm going to remove that wall for now. I'm going to have this section be a dead zone. And what that does is it makes it weird for the queen to just walk in here, because she has nothing else to target here. So it's more likely she would walk to the side like that. And I'm also going to throw in my bomb towers now. One for the queen right there. Maybe move it up a tile so it's not chainable on this. Something like that. And then one I want in the channel here. Somewhere right there. Let's see. And then I want kind of my Teslas right around here, this section, to kind of pull the hogs away from the Inferno. So something like that looks good. And I'm going to throw an Archer Tower there, so that once the hogs path here, they would think it would go to the Inferno, but then the Teslas pop up and they path down like that. So that's good. And I don't want this little empty space here, so I can just kind of throw a hut in there. Yeah, I'm happy with this. I can move this down one and kind of create a little thing there. That either way works, doesn't really matter. I just like the look of that more. And then I kind of want my sweepers now placed. So I'm going to put them in this little section here. something like that. And I want one covering this, so that this covers a blimp entry, so that they don't get a giant electron value on this right here. And I also want one covering the eagle. So this section is pretty easy to slammer or queen charge, so I'm going to put some other stuff in there later to make it a bit harder. But for now, this is what I have. And then now I want to put some of the storages. So I definitely want a storage right around here to kind of have the hog's path into where I want it to path. And also at the same time the miners can get stuck on the storage a little bit. One right here maybe, slow down some stuff there. I want my geared archer tower in this section because it's short range but high DPS, so we can cut down any wall breakers that make it into this section. And I want to put my town hall somewhere around this area and make the funneling kind of bad, so put some Teslas behind the town hall. Another storage can go somewhere around here, so that you can't just, it takes a little bit more to just grab the eagle. And now I have my elixir storages, so I'm going to put them to fortify sections I feel are a bit weak. I like to protect my ADs a little bit. One right there maybe? Yeah. Maybe one right there. Kind of complete the little Tesla farm right there. Mini Tesla farm with 2 Teslas. And then one right here. Just to protect that part as well. Yeah. Alright, and now I'm going to put my cannons. I want one right here. I want one next to the air defense. I kind of want one right here. Something like that. Want one maybe right here. One to cover this air defense so that it's not directly targetable. I can also throw a mortar here. Yeah, I have 2 more. I'm going to put one right here, just for extra DPS in that section, and I'll figure out where to put my last one later. And for my air defenses, or not air defenses, my archer towers, I'm going to start filling them out now. Something like that. Yeah, I like that. Maybe one up here to kind of cover the trash up there. One right here to cover air over here, because there's not much air coverage right here. And then one maybe right here, just to cover some air in this corner. And this is the base I have so far. I'm going to put a mortar somewhere around here so that this air defense isn't directly targetable. And I think I also want another cannon here, just to add a little bit more DPS in this section, so that it's not as easy to sui. I'll put a mortar right around here. Yeah, I like that spot. And maybe one up here, just to make funnels a little bit wonky. And now I want to put my army camps. So I want one army camp right here because this looks like a pretty common entry spot. I want an army camp right around maybe here. Yeah, I like that spot. And I can move this out so that there's no gap there. Something like this. I want an army camp maybe right here. And my last army camp maybe right here. Yeah, I like that. I don't like this one maybe. Maybe we throw it down here. Not sure who would enter from there, but might as well. And now I want to fill in my storages and stuff, or my collectors and stuff. It's best to have your collectors in single layer trash, so that they can stall a little bit while your DPS kind of fires from the funneling troops, whereas in double layer trash, you can actually use lower HP structures, so that, because there's just more stuff there. And I also like to put my lower HP structures in front of the defenses, so that if anyone actually does try to bowler bounce or whatever, it just does less damage in general. And I'm going to put my hut in front of the mortar, so that it's not bowler bounceable. Can't go wrong with that. Another hut, or another barracks right there. Put some collectors, something like that. Can have another hut right here. something like that, just to protect the cannon a little bit. And I can have my barracks right there. Yeah, I like that. And I'm gonna put that there, put that there, and maybe one right there. There we go. And I'll put one right here. There we go. Can put this there. Oh god. Put my builder hut right there. One right there. One right there. And one right there. I like that. So now a lot of it's covered. Now we can work on this little bottom side here. You can put one right there. One right there. Have my little slightly lower HP outside. Like that. Yeah, I like that. And then I want one right here, somewhere like there. So that's covered. Now I have one more collector. So I'm gonna find a spot to put this baby. So maybe right there. Something like this maybe. Just to make the Sui have a bit more stuff to get through. And now I'm gonna trap the base. And this is the part that makes or breaks the base. So I like to start with my giant bombs. Never a bad idea. Kind of see what heal zones I have throughout the base. One right there. One right there. Wizard tower plus giant bomb equals instant heal zone. I have a bomb tower here, so I'm not too worried about that. I'm going to throw one right there. I am going to also throw one right here. And I'm going to throw one right here, just to make the funnel for a king funnel really hard right here. And then I'm going to put my spring traps now. I'm going to have a spring right there. Spring right there. And if we look at the base, there's a good chance the attacker will charge from this side of the base. So I want a lot of my springs to be on this side. So I already put 2 down here, which is fine. So I want the rest of the 4 up here. So I'm going to put 2 springs right there on this inferno. I also want my spring right here. And maybe some in the channel. So maybe one right here. Yeah, I like that. And I'm going to have my Skelly Trap somewhere over here, so that they don't really pull the miners into the Inferno comp. But if the miners do go in the Inferno comp, it will trigger. I'm going to have one right here. Same idea right there. And I'm going to have one kind of somewhere around the middle. So maybe right there. And I'm also going to throw my Tornado Trap. Because this section is covered by a sweeper, so a blimp can't just easily run in. And also the eagle is covered by a sweeper. I'm going to have my tornado trap somewhere on the lower side here. So I was thinking maybe right here, but that's a little too far. Maybe right there. Yeah, because that can help with going against hybrid a bit with the bomb tower, inferno tower. There's some expos on it, some Teslas. So there could be some decent DPS there. And it can also help with the slammer so that it doesn't get any further into a base if it were to path something like that. And now for my red air bombs, I like to put one next to the tornado trap, grab any loons that somehow find its way in there. And I don't want any of my red air bombs to be within the hound pop radiuses right here, something along the lines of that. I also don't want them in the path of the hounds. So I'm probably going to have some right here, some in the middle, and some up top right there. So I'm going to put one in the middle somewhere right here. And I'm going to put one over here, and one over here. And I'm going to put one over here, and call it a day. Maybe right here. Yeah. And then for my SAMs, I'm going to put one right there. One right there. Maybe a second one in the Inferno comp to kind of stop any slammer that tries to get some free value there. Definitely one right there. Maybe a little further out right here, because a Coco Loon would not be able to grab that because of the natural pathing we have here. And same can be said about the SAM down here. Kogaloon would not be able to grab that because of the natural pathing from the defenses. And I think I'm going to have my last SAM somewhere up on top here. Kind of protecting this AD here. Maybe somewhere right there. On the Tesla farm as well. And now for my small bombs, I'm going to have them kind of acting as a mini giant bomb. So I can even out the splash distribution among the base. I'm going to have one over here somewhere. And I think I'm going to have one... maybe up here, because I have a giant bomb and bomb tower here. I don't want too much splash here. Actually, this wouldn't be a bad spot to have one between this wizard tower and archer tower, because if they should try to wall break in here, this would also catch it as well. So that's not too bad of an idea. And now I'm going to go over why the space works. So if we take a look at mainly the queen charge spots, I want to talk about that. This is a spot that someone might queen charge, but there is a SAM right there and catch healers. There's also this AD, which is very important because this dead zone will not pull the queen towards that AD. So the queen will just go straight in here and the healers will get sniped off. As well as I have a lot of DPS here, the king. And that will basically shut down the queen charge before it gets to, say, around here. Another likely queen charge spot is right around here. Kind of try to get into the channel, see what kind of values they can get. I have this air defense here to snipe off the healers. It's 4 tiles away, so the queen can't reach it from this wall. I also have the king over here to kind of pull the queen into the channel, so this air defense and Inferno Tower can do work. And once again, I have a lot of expose and DPS on the queen. And the last likely spot I think someone would charge would be right here, this section here. That's why I put this little dead zone here, as well as a SAM, so that this would pick off healers. The dead zone would make it so the queen would likely walk to the sides instead of just stepping in very easily. And I also have an unwalkable air defense, so if the queen were to walk, the healers would get sniped off. And apart from that, I want to talk a little bit about the pathing I did into this base. So if we take a look at the pathing here, mainly around this section, I have a kind of a defense ring around this inferno, and then on the opposite side I also have a defense ring around that inferno, and this works in both directions. If they were to come in here, it would still path like that. If they were to come in here, it would still path like that. So this is great for keeping this inferno alive until a lot later into the attack, where it can just continue hitting the troops. And channels are great for separating values. So if you notice, in this channel, there's nothing that's walkable that's of high value. Eagle, Infernos. None of these are walkable from the channel. There are exceptions where you can make something walkable in the channel, but the channel just has to be very, very well defended, so that the queen can't even get to that walkable structure. Let's see, what else do I want to talk about? Maybe a Sui or a queen charge down here is what I want to talk about. So if we take a look at down on this Inferno comp, this is probably the weakest portion of the base and easiest to queen charge. What I want to do with this section is almost bait a queen charge, because if you take a look at this section and how it's built, there's actually not too much value a queen charge can grab. Sure, she can grab the Inferno. Sure, she can grab the CC, but she definitely will not be able to reach the other Inferno or the Eagle, because first she would have to break into the channel, where it's likely she would just walk away. And even in the channel, these aren't reachable, so she would have to break another layer. So as long as I don't have these two values reachable from the channel, it should be fine as well. And also, with something like a Sui Lalo, this looks pretty fun to Sui because there's an air defense, a Inferno, and some wizard towers along. So that could be pretty good value to Sui. But I did want to make it a bit harder to Sui, so I threw in a decent amount of DPS around the area as well as some higher HP structures to kind of slow down the Sui. And let's take a look at the clan castle radius. It pops into effect right after this Inferno is stepped on. So any king that gets onto the Inferno will trigger the CC. And that just kind of shuts down a Sui, especially with this ground bow here that will be dealing a lot of damage to the king and queen the entire time. But I do agree that this bottom section can be pretty weak to a Sui. Luckily, I personally don't really face a lot of Sui Lalo, so you can tell my bases aren't really built for defending against Lalo, more so against hybrid, because that's really what I face in war. And a lot of base building is just about what you face often in war, and what league you're playing in. Because if I build a base that's solely for defending Lalo, but I only face hybrids in war, there's no point. My base can be the best base to defend Lalo, but if I just see hybrid in war, then my base is still bad. At least for me. So base building is just what you need to defend in war. And if you take a look at my other video as well, in that base, it's not really a good air defense base. I admit that it's very weak to Dragbat. I actually did some testing today, and it defended really well against hybrid. It actually wasn't tripled at all. Granted, they weren't like world-class attackers, but it still didn't get tripled by hybrid. But it did get beat pretty bad by Dragbat, and that's something that I don't see as much in war. I see a lot more hybrid, so that's something I wanted to defend much more than Dragbat. You'll also notice a lot of my bases have a lot of ground bows. That's mainly because I face a lot of hybrid, maybe some P.E.K.K.A. Smash. So I like to put ground bows a lot, because that really helps against the ground attacks I see a lot. But if you see more air attackers, go ahead and put more air bows. I'm not stopping you. There's nothing wrong with having more air bows. I just like defending the really strong hybrid meta. And that's also why you don't see any air skellies most of the time. But yeah, that's about it. This is my second base building video, and I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.